Hello guys and welcome to something a little bit different. This is not a regular LP, but something called a video game tag, in which I've been tagged by LP Grodus to answer a couple of questions about gaming, pretty general questions, or big picture questions, you'll soon hear them, and then I get to tag a couple of people to do the same. So let's get straight to it, shall we? Now the first question is, what is your favorite game of all time? I don't necessarily think that the game you spend the most time with is the best game. Let me put it this way. The amount of time you put with a game doesn't measure how much you like it. For instance, I've played Skyrim a lot more than I've played say Final Fantasy VIII, but I still enjoy Final Fantasy VIII a lot more. In fact, I only stopped playing it because my game disc doesn't work, and I have yet to buy another one. But so yeah, I don't think game time necessarily like straightly converts to enjoyment. Even still, I will have to go with a game that I've spent a shit ton of time with, and it has just affected me on so many levels. You can probably guess it. It's World of Warcraft. I started playing this game back in 2005, in the spring 2005, and I played it all the way up until I think it was 2013, I'm pretty sure, yeah. So I played it pretty much for 8 years. That's 8 years, yeah. My math is a bit bad. Now, I can't even begin to explain how much this game has meant to me, even if you take away that I really do think it's an amazing game, solo experience or multiplayer experience. I remember watching people play games like Ultima when I was younger and feeling like this is not exactly what I want, it's still lacking a lot. And then I saw my brother play World of Warcraft. He bought it in February or something, maybe 2005, and I was thinking, you know what, this is exactly what I've been looking for. I need this in my life. So I started playing it and I loved it, and I loved it all the way until I stopped playing it. I stopped playing it for lack of time, really. Having a child and starting to work a lot more than I did, I just couldn't raid anymore. So I had to basically stop playing because I couldn't really do the things I enjoyed the most in the game anymore. But even if you take away the gameplay elements, this game has been very important to me on a very personal level as well. I've met a lot of people through this game that has come to mean a lot to me. For instance, my boyfriend, we met through World of Warcraft, so in essence my child would not exist without this game. So that just goes to show how important this game is to me, and it easily ends up at #1 for my favorite game of all time. I can't even imagine what my life would be like right now if I hadn't played this game, and I can't really say that about many other games. There are other games that I've really enjoyed and that I've spent a shit ton of time with, say Mario Kart on the 64, Mario Party on the 64, a lot of 64 games. That's where I started my gaming, really. I've spent a lot of time with, and so of course I've really enjoyed them, but even if you removed all that gaming from my life, I probably wouldn't be very different. But World of Warcraft has really had an impact on my life. In a sense, I almost feel like it's a bit unfair to go with an MMO. They contain so many aspects, the whole social aspect, and they often require a lot of your time that it's easy for them to jump up and be an important thing in your life. So if we take away MMOs out of the equation, if they get to be maybe on their own gaming scale, so to speak, what would be my favorite game of all time then? In that case, I will go with another game that I've spent a very, very long time with, and I still play occasionally now and then. It is Heroes of Might and Magic 3. Now, I choose to have this as my favorite game of all time because I can play it anytime. I can easily sink in hours. I will never ever bore of this game, I am certain. It just has so many compelling qualities. It really has the essence of that. Just another round, I just want to click this, I just need to build this. I've not played a game that does this as well as Heroes of Might and Magic. Some games have come very close. For instance, Faster Than Light I've played a lot as well, and Settlers 2 is another game I can jump in and play at any point really. But Heroes of Might and Magic, if I was deserted on a lonely island and I only had one game to play, computer game to play, it would probably be Heroes of Might and Magic. It's fun whether you're alone. It's even more fun, obviously, multiplayer. But the third installment is definitely the best one out of the lot I've tried. The second one, third one, fourth one, sixth one. I might have tried the fifth one, I'm not sure, but no one comes close to the third one. Sorry, the second actually comes close, if anything, but the third one's definitely best. So there you have it. Favorite game of all time, World of Warcraft, or if you don't count MMOs, I'll go with Heroes of Might and Magic 3. So, on to the second question. What is your favorite game genre? Originally, I would have to say multiplayer games. So if you could say that that's a genre, I don't mean online games necessarily, because when I started playing, that wasn't a big thing. Yeah, it existed. We're not talking Stone Age here. We're talking I have to think now, late 90s. But the games I really spent the most time with, originally enjoyed the most, were multiplayer games. So, like I mentioned already, Mario Kart, Mario Party, also Super Smash Bros. For instance, Pokemon Stadium, those kind of games, local multiplayer. But evolving from that and looking at what I enjoy the most now, would probably be any kind of game with some sort of role-playing RPG element. Originally it would be pretty strict purist kind of RPG, like JRPG. But as I've grown older maybe, or tried more things, I could probably say that any kind of game almost that has an RPG element will at least interest me. So for instance, there are action RPGs, kind of like, or action adventure RPGs like Diablo. I love those kind of games. RPG shooters like System Shock 2, like I'm playing now, or Deus Ex. Really enjoying those games. And then also obviously the old school RPGs. I'm actually enjoying them less now than I used to, because they often have some sort of game mechanic that can get a bit frustrating, like the random encounters, or some of them require quite a lot of grinding, stuff like that. But in general, I would probably have to go with RPGs as my favorite game genre. The third question is, what is the earliest game you remember? Now, I don't know if this means earliest game I remember at all, or the earliest game I remember playing. So if we start with the earliest game I remember playing, I would probably have to go with Lemmings. I know a friend of my parents had this old computer. I can't say now for sure what it was. It was probably some sort of Amiga or something even, and he had Lemmings. I must have been maybe 5-6 years old playing that thing, and I completely loved it. I probably didn't get very far. Lemmings can get pretty difficult in the later levels, but I mean, it has great music, it has really fun gameplay, it's simple to get into, you get the idea of the game immediately, so it's perfect for a child really to try out. So yeah, Lemmings is most certainly the first game I played. The first game I remember seeing, however, is I remember watching my uncle play on his Amiga, either Railroad Tycoon or the Indiana Jones game called something Holy Grail. I just watched a let's play of it. I still can't remember the name, but it's a point-and-click adventure game. I remember it vividly because he died so horribly in the last trials, where you have to get through these this corridor where the blades chop off Indy's head basically, and I was also maybe 4 or 5 years old, so that image really stuck with me, even though it's actually censored in the game. So yeah, and Railroad Tycoon as well, which I've tried playing afterwards, mostly to see like what the deal was about, because I remember he really liked it. and I couldn't really get into it. Maybe I should give it another shot. It's been some time since then now. So yeah, first game I played, Lemmings, and first game I remember seeing was either Railroad Tycoon or the Indiana Jones, the Search for the Holy Grail, or whatever it's called. And the next question is, what games or what game are you looking forward to right now? Well, while I'm recording this, it would probably be the new Pokemon, well, I should say revamped Pokemon Alpha Sapphire or Omega Ruby. In my case, it's Alpha Sapphire because Sapphire is the one I played back in the day, so I actually want to replay it. Some people want to go for the opposite to get the other experience, but I'm not like that. I want to get the same experience, basically. I actually heard they changed quite a lot, or at least something, so I'm very hyped about it. I'm really looking forward to it. That's the game I'm looking forward to the most right now. For the next question we have, what is my least favorite video game character? At first I actually struggled a bit with this question. I really tried to think about characters that just, you know, grated my ears or just really didn't connect with me, and it was really hard. I started with some characters from Final Fantasy VII. I really had trouble with Tifa and Yuffie to begin with. Don't ask me why about Tifa, I can't really motivate that one. There was just something about her that was off, and I just didn't connect with her. Yuffie, on the other hand, I had a perfect reason. She actually goes on, and here's a spoiler by the way, so you might not want to listen to this, jump say 20 seconds ahead. She actually goes on and steals all your materia from you at some point in the game. Now she's an optional character, fortunately, so you don't have to have this happen to you. It's a really annoying side quest that she sparks, basically, if you manage to get her. Getting her is quite tricky, so most people hopefully have not had to go through this, but when this happened to me, unfortunately for Yuffie, I was so annoyed at that, so she was forever stamped in my book as an annoying character. Otherwise she's not that bad. I mean, she's a bit happy-go-lucky, and I sometimes have a bit of trouble with characters like that. Although, actually, if you think about it, I'm a lot like that myself. Maybe that's why I have a problem with it. But when I thought about Final Fantasy VII, it hit me. Even if I don't like Yuffie, I don't like Tifa, I don't like hate them or anything. But then I remembered Final Fantasy X. Oh god, don't get me started on Final Fantasy X. There are so many characters in that game that I literally cannot stand, and even though a lot of that game was actually quite enjoyable, playing it through again, having to play those characters and watch those horrible cutscenes, that is a real chore for me, I think. The characters I'm talking about are Tidus, especially. He's so annoying. Just looking at him makes me want to punch him, unfortunately. Yuna's pretty annoying as well. Wakka gets on my nerves to no end. Riku is a lot like Yuffie, actually, when you think about it. She's not that bad, but she's like also like a female version of Wakka. But Tidus, Yuna and Wakka, and having all those three in the same game, that's just so unlucky, or just so bad for me. I really had trouble playing Final Fantasy X thanks to those characters. So yeah, I would probably have to go with those three. If I had to pick one, it would probably be Tidus, because he is the main character. He is the one you're supposed to identify with, or at least care about to some part, and I just want him to die because he's so annoying. So that was that was a real struggle for me. And that brings us to the final question, which is quite obviously, which is my favorite character, video game character. And again, I would have to go to a Final Fantasy game. This is like what struck me first, the first thing that came to my mind. This wasn't even a hard one, it's really easy for me. Some of you might even be able to guess it if you know me, old endgamer, I'm thinking about you. Vincent from Final Fantasy VII. He's also an optional character, he's the other optional character as opposed to Yuffie. And I just remember the first time I found him and having him in my party. He has a really cool limit break. like his special move, so to speak. If you haven't played Final Fantasy VII, and if you haven't, that would be really weird. But his special move is out of the player's control. Basically, you activate it, and that turns him into a creature. He has 4 different, I believe, if I remember correctly. And each of these have their different weaknesses and strengths, but they all do the same thing in that you can't control the character anymore, and he plays on his own. Normally this is quite risky. I mean, the AI, and especially maybe of this time era, isn't brilliant, and obviously there are situations you can end up in where Vincent just won't do what you want him to do. But for me, when I played this through the first time, actually the opposite happened. I had the rest of my party dead. I normally play with Cloud and Barrett, and Vincent obviously. Cloud and Barrett were dead. Vincent was the only one left to fight a boss that I was fighting. I can't remember which one now. Some of the mid-game bosses, and he killed him for me. I mean, at that point, since Vincent isn't really controllable, there wasn't much I could do. He won't dress any characters for you. You will just have to sit by and pray basically at the sidelines. Shout encouraging words at him, but he'd made it. He pulled through, he killed the boss for me, and at that point he was just in my books as an amazing character. I loved him so much. I mean, he's also really cool looking. He has a really cool backstory. There's so much to like about him. So yeah, I will definitely have to go with Vincent from Final Fantasy VII as my favorite video game character. And now we get to the final part, which is where I get to tag the next people to do this, if they so please. Obviously, I can't force anyone. I have chosen a couple of people whom I would be interested to hear this from. I would like to see what their answers to these questions are, basically. I'll also take the opportunity to make this a bit of a combined tagging and shout out. So these are also people whom I am currently enjoying a couple of Let's Plays from, and I really think you should check out. So first though, I'm gonna give a shout out to LP Grodus, who tagged me for this. Thank you very much, Grodus. It's a very fun thing. You should really check out his channel. He has loads of content, so there's surely something for you to like there. I've watched a couple of his Let's Plays. I've enjoyed every one of those. I'm currently watching his Silent Hill Let's Play, which is hilarious, by the way. He's constantly lost. It's really funny. I think he's already died 20 times or more, and he's not far into the game. So I'm really recommending that. He also has a very good mix of games. He really does seem like he plays any kind of game. So I really recommend checking out LP Grodus. And every person that I'm going to mention, I will hopefully remember to put the link to in the description. So check that out. Next up on my tag list is Frauster. He came into my System Shock 2 Let's Play and gave me some really needed advice. It actually really made the game a lot more fun to play, because at that point I was extremely lost and I felt so vulnerable. Don't get me wrong, I still feel very vulnerable in System Shock 2. It really has you by the balls, even if you don't have any like me. But his advice really made me enjoy the whole game a lot more. So I am tagging him. He is currently playing his own System Shock 2 Let's Play, and he does it on impossible difficulty with some added extra. He's doing a pure melee run basically, with obviously with psi powers, but he's not using any ranged weapons. So that's if you want to see someone play through System Shock 2 and not be a noob about it like me, I couldn't recommend that Let's Play anymore. I'm really enjoying it. He is fortunately behind me intentionally, actually, so that it won't spoil anything for me, so I'm very grateful for that. But that's a great Let's Play. I'm also watching his Alien Isolation Let's Play. This cracks me up because the alien is just owning him. That's also a really good Let's Play I'm enjoying at the moment. Next up on my list is Iron Torch 20. Now this guy does a really good job with adding extra information and fun things to know about the game to his Let's Plays, so it makes it really gives that extra value to watching them. He also plays a lot of bit of maybe old games or older games that you might not have heard of. I've been really enjoying his Castlevania Circle of the Moon Let's Play, for instance, and Uninvited old games like that I really enjoy watching Let's Plays of, and he's doing a great job with it. So I definitely recommend checking his channel out if you like those bit older games. Third on my list, I've got Old N Gamer, who is actually an old friend of mine and kind of the person who got me into Let's Playing, sort of. He started out first, and after a while I sort of decided that maybe I should try it as well. Now he's not Let's Playing very much at the moment, but he's got a lot of interesting content on his channel right now. He plays a lot of old NES games, for instance, and he doesn't do any cheating. I know he's too proud and definitely too stubborn to do it. So his Battletoads, for instance, which he hasn't been able to complete yet, I know he's spent countless hours doing. It's well worth a watch, even though it's not finished, and maybe we can nag him into completing it if he's capable. That wouldn't surprise me if he's not, but it's definitely worth checking out if you want to check out some old NES games being done. And then we've got Takama Sak, of whom I'm currently enjoying a really good Terra Enigma Let's Play. He also does a lot of other old SNES games. I think he's done Tales of Fantasia and Final Fantasy II. Let's Play that are ongoing now, I believe. I haven't gotten to them yet, but I'm really enjoying the Terra Enigma games, so that's definitely worth giving a look-see if you're into those kind of games. Next up is Evil Genius 4545. That's a mouthful of a tag name, but it's easy to remember. I'm currently watching his Banjo and Tooie Let's Play and really enjoying it. That game is massive, there's tons to do. He just has a way of going about it that is really fun to watch, and my son is also really enjoying that Let's Play. It's something about all the bright colors, I guess, so it makes it really fun to watch. He also does games like Dark Souls, Psychonauts, for instance. I haven't gotten to them yet, but I definitely will. So I definitely also recommend this guy. Check him out if you're into a little bit of everything. And then last but definitely not least, we've got Enchantermon. I'm currently really enjoying his System Shock Let's Play. I decided to watch that since I was playing the sequel, and thought I'd get to know a little bit more about where that was coming from. It's fun to see how much is similar, which is obvious since it's like part of a series, really. And also maybe how that ties into the Bioshock games that are sort of a spiritual successor to this, and he's doing a really good job with it. He also does games like Half-Life, Five Nights at Freddy's he started, and also the sequel to that, which I haven't seen yet, but I'm actually really interested to look at. And he does some really good commentary, so it's really, I've really been enjoying his System Shock Let's Play. It's amazing. They're all actually really good commentators, I should say, otherwise I wouldn't enjoy their Let's Plays. So all of these people, I really recommend you should check them out. I hope at least some of them will hear this and do the tag themselves, so I can hear their answers to these questions. Now, I've been blabbing on for quite some time. If you made it all the way until here, I am both amazed and thankful. You should be really proud of yourself, but there isn't much more to say. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you in some of my Let's Plays, I hope. So, thank you for listening, and I'll see you some other time.